Hello YouTube, it's Josh, the exotic fish guy. Today we're gonna be talking about how to grow your monster fish at the most rapid, successful, and healthy rate. How to get the big, beautiful monster fish, those exotic fish that you can enjoy in your home, and how to reach that size. I know it's sometimes we get impatient trying to get a small fish from 3 inches up to 30 inches, but today I'm gonna show you a regimen that if you will follow it, I guarantee your fish will grow from 1 to 2 inches every 30 days. So let's get right in. There are 3 types of ways that you can feed your fish. You can feed them with dry food, you can feed frozen foods, or you can feed one of my favorite, you can do live feedings. There are pros and cons to dealing with all of these feelings. When you're feeding the dry food, when you're looking for a good dry food, first of all, you want to make sure that it has the protein and the nutrition that your fish is going to need on a daily basis. Second of all, you want to know what it does to your tank. That's what I go by, because believe it or not, sometimes you're going to miss, and then you don't want to have to change your whole tank because the food is causing your tank to color or have a big bacteria spike. I go by, when I'm choosing the food, is use food that doesn't color my tank but gives my fish nutrition that they need. Some of the dry foods, they have foods that sink, they have foods that float. I use a variation of both. There are a lot of different varieties of food out there. You can go through the ones, but like I say, you know, always give it a couple of days. It's not really what your fish eat, it's what it does to your tank. The next thing that we'll do is, we got your frozen food. Now I'm gonna give you a demonstration of how I feed the dry food. The key to feeding this dry food is that even though it has its daily vitamins, I like to add complex form of vitamins to the food. This product is called ViaCam Fresh Formula, and it has all the vitamins and supplements that your fish need on a daily basis. So it enhances the food, it's gonna enhance their color, and of course it's gonna cause them to be more active and to grow more. I just pour it right on the top, let it soak through, don't let them get too wet. Wait about 30 seconds. Another type of food is the frozen food. I use the frozen bloodworms because they break down easy. All the species of exotic fish eat these worms. Every freshwater fish, I haven't found a fish yet that didn't eat bloodworms. It's a good to start them, and it's a good way to get them from moving from live feedings to eating frozen food and pellets. Another thing I give them is beef hearts. This puts the meat on them. This is what makes them grow. This attaches to them. You know, it's very high protein in the beef heart. You know, it's for the ballers. You know what I mean? This is steak. You can give your fish McDonald's and they can live. You also can give your fish Roof Chris and they can grow healthier, grow bigger. And then I give them the brine shrimp, which is gonna have all their vitamins and minerals in it. This is the healthiest frozen food to give them. So I use a mix of these 3 when I feed the frozen. Now I'm gonna demonstrate, I'm gonna put one of each of these frozen in this tank and feed the fish. I'm about to take one variety of all of the frozen fish and feed it to this tank. I'll be feeding the arowana. I have an African blue Forbosa. I have a super red, a very rare exotic Oscar. Giving your fish frozen food is like giving your fish Ruth Chris or some of the best steaks in your area. Of course, your fish can live and grow. They can, you know, give them a regular diet and grow an inch a month. But by applying these type of products and eat your fish will grow 1.5 inches to 2 inches a month and will maintain size, color, and being healthy. When your fish are small, from a fry up, you want to start with the bloodworms. That's another good thing, because as they melt down, they get smaller and it can feed in any size. Also, the brine shrimp, as they melt down, and it's preparing them to get to the size where they would eat the beef heart. But no size is too small and no size is too big for the frozen food. Also, when you feed the frozen food, you want to be mindful that each type of frozen food has different nutritions. So when you feed frozen, you want to make sure you give them a balanced diet. That's why I mix the three. I don't just use the beef heart only. I don't just use the shrimp only. I don't just use the bloodworms only. It's the mixture of the three on a weekly basis, on a weekly schedule to help build up their immune system, help build up their muscle fibers, their amino acids, and cause the fish to grow and produce magnificent color and energy in your tank. Now, I'm gonna feed some of the fish in this tank. I have arowana in this tank. All of these fish in this tank are very young. None of them are a year old yet. I even have some very large blue forbosas in here that have been growing very large. Now let's feed our fish one of each of the three frozen types that I like to use. There are many other different frozen types, but this is the types and the brands that I like to use with my fish when I'm feeding my arowana, when I'm feeding my hybrid catfish, when I'm feeding my golden Oscars, when I'm feeding my large plecos. These are what I like to use. So I'm gonna get right into it and let you see how they love them. The third feeding type is feeding live fish. When feeding live fish, you have to be very careful because they can carry parasites and carry them onto your fish. There are ways that you can prevent this from happening and still feed live fish. For those who subscribe to my channel, I also have information about how to prepare these fish and keep them healthy so your fish won't catch parasites or be injured. But one reason you want to keep it natural, because in the natural wild, eating other fish is the fish's main diet. It's its main habitat. Nutrition gets through the fish's body better when it's done organically in the way that's done in the natural in the wild. All predatory fish will eat any fish that it fit in its mouth. So it's a battle of the strongest and a battle of the fittest. But the fish are not go out where they'll just bite on fish. They challenge fish by they size the fish up. Can I eat the whole fish? So if you're fit in the fish's mouth, they will eat the whole fish. So, and this is one of the pros about feeding live fish. It keeps your tank clean because when they eat the fish, they eat the whole fish. These are monster predatory fish, and this is their favorite food. They even get excited when the jar comes out. Today, I got a member of the squad, Latasha Josh, and she is going to be feeding the Oscars and the red belly Paco and the snubble nose and give them a great treat. Hopefully we even get the eels to come out and the knife fish to come out. It's a couple of other fish that are hide and seek, but as soon as these live fish hit the water, they will come out and play. Here you go, sweetie. A great diet regimen to grow monster fish at a huge rate is take the dry food and feed it 3 times a week. Take the dry and frozen, feed it for 2 days, and then on the 5th day, you feed it the live, and then you go 1 day without food. It allows it to clean the digestive system, and then normally the day without food is when I clean my tanks, get all the poop out, and refresh them again. And you can repeat that cycle over and over again. Every month, get one of the fish Measure it, monitor your growth. Remember, you want to feed 4 to 6 times daily. It's 4 to 6 times until they stop eating, 2 to 3 minutes between each feeding session until they stop eating to grow your monster fish. Okay, YouTube, thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Comment on any other fish you want me to tell you about, or if you have any questions about how to grow a monster fish and get it to grow at an alarming rate, or if your fish is at a standstill and it's like it ain't grown in months, leave it in the comments, subscribe to the channel. See you next time.